What's up guys, today we're going to be ranking the best IEMs under $100, and I know there has been inflation, so there has been a little bit of adjustment in the rankings, but let's get into it, starting with the best all-rounders. First we have the Meyer SLA3. It's a recent IEM. It has a contrasty, dynamic kind of sound, but still well balanced. In the low end you get a good amount of bass, the vocals pop out just enough, and you get that extra kind of contrast in the upper mids and the treble. Now if you're looking for something smoother, the SIMGA EM6L will be better. The treble, the upper mids is just smoother. It doesn't have the Bart Simpson upper mids where it's a bit peaky, but at the same time the EM6L is also not as dynamic and engaging and quote unquote unique sounding as the SLA3, and it's a more all-rounder that is slightly bright leaning but still full and natural sounding and just very smooth sound signature. So if you want something smooth, go for the EM6L. Then after that we have the Kiwi Ears Air Rosso, and these are very new. I'm going to be reviewing them soon, but they are a slight V-shaped sound signature. It's basically the EM6L with more bass and not as smooth when it comes to the upper mids. It's a bit more contrasty than the EM6L, but not quite as Bart Simpson upper mids treble as the SLA3. So it kind of sits between the SLA3 and the EM6L. These are good, but they will be an honorable mention because they do cost 130 USD. It's not under 100 even on sale. Now as for the Truth Your Nova and the SIMGA Super Mix 4, normally I would put these in as one of the best all-rounders, but because of tariffs and inflation, these might go up in price. So I'm gonna say honorable mention for now because it doesn't really quite get under $100 anymore. But if you find these for like $115, these are very good, very technical, all-rounded, balanced, pretty smooth, and they're still pretty good if you want an all-rounder set, but just watch out for the pricing because of the tariffs and the inflation. Next, we got the best warm and bassy IEM. Starting with the warm IEM, we have the RD T10 Pros. These are essentially a mini Symphonium meters. It's warm leaning and it's got that thick and warm and kind of like heavy no way feeling with the mid bass, as well as a airy and extended treble, kind of like the meters. Very good pick if you want something warm but still something airy at the same time and not that much planar timbre. On the other hand, if you want something more sub bass focused but still pretty bassy overall, still pretty well rounded, the CCA Hydro is a pretty good pick for this. You can find these for like around 90 to 100 bucks on sale, and it does the sub bass focused sound signature very well while being pretty balanced overall. Gives you that bassy type of sound, great for like hip hop, R&B, and rap. Now as for some bass head IEMs, you have two options here. If you're willing to EQ, the Lecture Aoida E20 with EQ is basically a better version of the Deuce in my opinion. You get the same like bass quantity. It's not as deep as the Deuce, but overall the balance is much better in my opinion after EQ, and it's like 50 bucks. So very good value wise if you're willing to EQ. But if you're buying stock, the 7Hz Legato is still very good bass head set. It's got the bass quantity, the texture is good, the overall like fun factor is there for a bass head set while getting the extension and the treble, and the vocals aren't completely gone either. So still a solid option. But on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, if you're looking for something clean, something neutral, something just like chill, then the Tangent for you with these switches is very good. You can get like a slightly warm sound depending on the switch configuration, and then you can also just get a super neutral sound, not that much bass, and just like very good like monitor quote unquote neutral IEM. And the build is also amazing. The packaging is very good overall. Highly recommend getting these if you want like a clean neutral set. Then as for the vocals, you have two main options here. If you want something sweet, something like clean, clear, open, natural sounding, the Tongzu HBB Xuanyi does a very good job of that for female vocals. It just sounds very angelic and just like very balanced and very good. Whereas on the other hand, if you want something warmer, something better for male vocals, the Full Magic one does the job very well there. It's got a little bit of body and warmness of the sound, but it's still well extended in the 3K, 2K region, and you get some treble extension as well. Overall, you get the body and you get the extension. Very good for male vocals. As for an honorable mention, the KZ Zenith does a very good job when it comes to both male and female vocals. It's clean, it's got the extension, and overall it's pretty smooth for a single dynamic driver. But if you want something brighter, something more sparklier, then the SIMGA EA500LM is very good for that. It has a slight treble boost, and overall great technicalities, great resolution. If you're looking for that like sparkly, like brightly type of sound, these would be a good pick. Or you could go for the Kiwi Ears Kanta, which is even more airy, even brighter than the EA500LM. These would be like treble head territory, and they do have a little bit of a planar timbre, so that is a downside. But if you do want just like bright leaning IEM, Kanta would be like the brightest without like killing your ears. Now when it comes to technical performance and resolution detail, the Kanta EM6L, EA500LM, and the SLA3 will all be pretty similar in that regards. It used to be the Super Mix 4, but because of tariffs and inflation, you can't really get that around 100 or under 100 anymore. So these are like the next best thing. Now as for the best scaling IEMs, you have two options here. If you want something bassier, something more laid back, scales very well. Scales probably the best out of all of them here. Then the full Explorer would be the pick. This was like one of the best value IEMs you could get last year for scaling wise. Very immersive, crank it up, doesn't hurt your ears. Just a very good like scaling IEM. Whereas on the other hand, if you want something cleaner, a little bit more treble extension, something like, you know, just like less bassy, I guess, then the Zigot Chino is still a very good set at around like 70 bucks on sale. So these would be also a good pick if you're looking for something cleaner, but still scales very well and does layering a little bit better than the Explorer. Then finally, for the best value IEMs, my pick would be the SIMGOT EW300 DSP and the Arty T10. The EW300 set really sounds like a $200 IEM. I think they really underpriced these. If you have a extra, you know, analog 0.78 3.5 millimeter cable on the side, you can just like have 4 different tuning options on top of the DSP and the nozzles. So very good value. Technicality is also up there. It's very smooth, like relatively very smooth treble extension for the price. And overall, it's just a great all-rounder sound, and you have a lot of tuning options to play around with. Then as for the Arty T10, this is probably one of the cheapest planar you can get that is very well tuned. It's got the technicalities, it's got like the tuning, it's an all-rounder set, slightly bright leaning, and overall you just can't really beat it for around 50, like $40 to $50 on sale, especially with tariffs and inflation nowadays. So Arty T10 still a great pick, and these would be like a side grade to the T10 Pros. The T10 Pros is, I guess, more unique. It's, you know, warmer, it's airier, whereas the T10 is just like a regular all-rounder, slightly bright leaning sound, and you know, it's what you expect from a planar. As for some sets I would avoid, definitely don't get any Moontrap Araya stuff. The OG Araya shouldn't be even on your list. Araya 2 is a bit overpriced. And then the Dunu Kima 2 Classic. I think it's a good sound if you want something warm and dark, but for the price, I think it's just a bit too overpriced. And then the Titan S2 as well, you can just find better stuff. The Tangent 4U is basically just a better version of all of them. So those would be the main ones I would avoid. But yeah, aside from that, I hope this guide was helpful. Look forward to the Kiwi Ears Eraso review, as well as other Kiwi Ears headphones. I'm gonna have some coming in as well, and I'm just gonna like speedrun the whole Kiwi Ears lineup basically. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see everyone in the next one.
Shout out to Rark's Cat, Dom Q, Disco Scotus, B, Urak, Mystic Spoon, Attack, Walker Standard, User, Patrick, Polly J, Mr. Gorillas, Anton Risto, Gis Sengyan, Christopher Jackson, Name, Henry Claudia, Son of a Horse, 777ZK, Ben Thompson, Obi, Wizard, Frickalicious, Andrick, Ricardo, Tapas, Oh Really, Contain Guava Juice Gains, Shrimp Buckley, Forever New, Triple Well Extended, and Chuck Norris. Thank you guys so much.